Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. With me, as always, is Morgan.
Hey, what's up?
This past week, Permission to Dance on Stage LA pre-sales took place. There were 4 days of pre-sales, depending on which ones you had the pre-sale code for. So, how do you think it went for us? Because we both had access to some of the pre-sales.
It went okay. It was pretty sloppy. Like the Ticketmaster, their servers suck or something. It can't handle the load. I mean, they should know exactly what amount of load, right? It's not like a indefinite number of people can log in at any given time.
Yeah, I mean,
there were glitches. It was just slow.
There's definitely going to be a lot of demand. I think we all knew that going in. And there were the usual problems, like some things happen that always happen when you try to buy tickets on Ticketmaster, like getting disconnected or getting kicked out of the queue.
Yeah.
There's an error code that a lot of people were getting, like once they tried to select tickets, I think is the point where that popped up.
But ultimately, I was able to buy tickets. I had the VIP pre-sale because we bought VIP tickets last time. We weren't able to get floor, which is unfortunate, but we were able to get like as close as you can be, but not floor.
Yeah, it was like a few rows up on the lower bowl area for Saturday.
I think this is because there's 4 shows, right? But there are a lot of people with VIP pre-sale from last time.
Right, from each city.
They have like 12 shows or something.
Each city, all those VIP.
All of those people were entitled to that pre-sale. So now you have VIP from 12 shows buying it for 4 shows. I was not sure what the demand would be like, honestly, just because of the pandemic and or people willing to travel, or what the demand would be like. Would people be hesitant because of COVID or whatever?
I thought the limit was mostly that they were just in LA.
Right, and it's only one city. But the demand was, as everyone knows by now, it was insane. Everything sold. There's nothing left. And even right when I started buying, I knew that at that moment that the demand was insane. I also bought some tickets for the other day, just some crappy like upper level tickets. So we'll watch it 2 days in a row. But
so we got the better tickets for Sunday and then the
worst tickets,
the far tickets for Saturday.
Right. And you could only buy 4. I actually went back and like, I'll just buy more then. But no, you can only buy 4 on your pre-sale code.
And there was some confusion about that because I saw that the limit was 4, but I just thought that meant each pre-sale you could buy at most 4 if you're able to get in. But some people were saying maybe it was just 4 total for Ticketmaster account. So I don't know if anyone tried to go beyond that and what would happen if you did, but I did see that, Ticketmaster has the ability to like cancel tickets if they want to, like if you somehow got extra ones.
Right.
I think people were trying to stay within the rules, but then it's hard to know what the rules were clearly, it's like 4 max of what? Right.
Whatever the max was, I was going to buy it, But I also had a pre-sale code for the next day. But I don't know. I didn't think to go buy anything, so I didn't buy anything. Although in hindsight, I should have. Yeah,
I had that code too, and
we were just happy with the 4 that we got.
Yeah, but you got the 4 tickets that we're gonna use. You got that all from the VIP pre-sale.
Correct.
And then
so I got on Tuesday.
Yeah, and then we both logged in for the general ticket holders pre-sale the next day, and then by the time. For me, when I got in, it was only upper level tickets were left by then. So
it seemed like everything was gone.
Yeah. So it was a lot of demand there. And I didn't have any technical issues. Did you have any of those issues happen?
Yes, I was kicked out of a queue on one of the days.
Oh, but you were able to get back.
I was able to get back in, but it might have cost me a floor seat.
Right.
So I was kicked out of a queue. And when I tried to purchase, this has nothing to do with Ticketmaster, but when I tried to purchase my second ticket, it had a fraud alert on my credit card. And I'm like, are you serious? This is $600. You're giving me a fraud alert on $600? I was like, oh, what's next? Are you going to give me a fraud alert like if I purchased like a candy bar at a gas station? What is this? $600.
It's like, we don't need that extra security right now.
Yeah.
I need to buy these tickets.
But that wasn't a huge obstacle or anything. I just used PayPal to pay. But other than that, and also the general slowness of it, Like, it would show you some seats were available, and you think, oh, there's a floor seat available, and you click on it, and it would say, no, that's not available. Then why did you show it to me? And sometimes they would reappear as if they were available, and you would click on it, and then they'd say, no, that's not available.
Yeah.
There's clearly something wrong with your system. And finally, the only way I got tickets was just to go to the sidebar and just say, just give me the best available tickets, and just click from the side, not click on the individual seats, which is impossible.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they have that. So if you want to be in a particular section, you can try to
but it didn't work.
Do that.
You can never do anything there.
I saw somewhere there's a site called aviewfrommyseat.com where people have posted pictures of what it looks like in the stadium from that vantage point. So that was a pretty good way to see, like, okay, what's the view from my seat? And the ones we got for Sunday, I thought it was pretty good because you can see both stages. We're like in between both stages, so I think there's a good view of both of those. And because it's not floor, I mean, I would have wanted floor, but I think there's one downside to it is that there's tall people that exist, and
right.
So if they're
so
standing
it might even
up,
be better.
Yeah, and I'm not a tall person, so that affects me if there's tall people standing up. But yeah, the seats that we got, they start sloping upwards, so less chance of that happening. And like I said, I like the location of the seats because it's in between the two stages. Like, you want to be probably either really close to one or just have a good view of both if possible. But yeah, sometimes you can't even really be strategic. You're just trying to get good seats anywhere, I'm
pretty happy with our seats. I still I went back on StubHub just to look, because I still, maybe I can get a floor seat, whatever, but they're just insane right now. I saw somebody charging like $10,000 for a floor seat. I don't think it'll sell, but it's like Super Bowl prices.
I've seen some pretty crazy markups, and people are trying to take advantage of desperate army right now who think they're going to not be able to see the concert at all. So I would definitely try to wait. If there's going to be tickets, and you just have to wait for the price to drop. But then there might be some people that are just so desperate they might pay a really exorbitant price, and that's what those scalpers are hoping to take advantage of. Yeah, so there were 4 pre-sales. It was, just to remind everybody, it was
there's the VIP, the general that they bought previously, the army, and then
army member pre-sale,
whatever garbage Ticketmaster thing that you get to just sign up for.
Yeah, the Ticketmaster verified fan pre-sale, that one was so useless because I mean, I don't know how many people signed up for it, but then you do it and you think, oh, I'll get a code, but then I got an email and it was like, you're on the wait list for a code. I'm like, what?
Well, at that point, there's nothing left anyway. Everybody who bought a ticket for the previous tour, they purchased another ticket now. It seems that way. Everybody. Now, will they all use it? No, obviously, as we'll discuss, a lot of people are reselling it. But everybody who had a pre-sale code, who bought because they had bought for a previous ticket, they purchased their max allotment. Right?
Yeah, and the way they did it was not all the tickets were open up on the first day, so on the first pre-sale. They had reserved some for the other pre-sales. But for the second day, the previous ticket holder pre-sale, 15 minutes before the sale opened, it was like, no sound check is available. It's like, what? How come there's no sound check? Like, I know it's not all gone because they reserved some. So I don't know, for whatever reason that day had no sound check that they wanted to open up. So that was kind of suspicious. I mean, that's suspicious, but it's like, why did they do it like that? Because, some people just had regular tickets and then they want on the previous concert, and maybe this time they were like, I really want to try for sound check, and like that's the best pre-sale you had access to. So that was, I don't want to say it's unfair, but it's like, why were there not at least some available? Because, I don't know, unfair, fair, what is fair? It's like Ticketmaster can do this however they want, but I don't know. I just feel like the distribution of it was odd to me. And the Army member pre-sale, like, in order to have the Army membership, you only had to pay like $22 or something. So I thought that that many tickets, but I was seeing a lot of tweets and stuff. People, like, they got floor, they got sound check from that one. So I don't know why, the quantity that was available was there for the Army member one, but, maybe that's a hype thing. Like, maybe they had some influence on that to, leave some of those good tickets for that pre-sale.
It feels like nothing good was left, though. Was anything good left?
Well, we weren't in that one, so it's hard to say. But I saw that people that were in that one.
I saw were you talking about the general pre-sale?
No, the third day pre-sale.
Oh, no, I wasn't in that one.
But then the Friday, the Ticketmaster verified fan, yeah, there was like nothing in there. And then the Saturday, the general tickets, that morning, Ticketmaster posted, it's like, there's no tickets left. So let's see, what was the wording that they said? Okay, it says on October 9th, Ticketmaster announced they won't be selling public on-sale tickets to SoFi Stadium. And following the last general verified fan pre-sale on October 8th, the company said there aren't any remaining tickets for general public on-sale due to overwhelming pre-sale demand. And it was reported Ticketmaster released tickets for seats that had limited views for sale due to overwhelming demand, but those seats were sold out as well. So the ones that had limited views, I guess those are just like not good seats then. They're just from behind, or like, something's blocking it maybe.
Yeah.
I guess they decided like, we might as well sell those tickets too.
I wouldn't be afraid to get those tickets because I've sat in those seats before and they've never been that bad. It's not like your entire view is blocked. It's just partially blocked.
Uh-huh. And maybe that's better than just not going at all.
And yeah, and when people pay like a lot of money for tickets, that's the type of thing where they have a justifiable complaint. So they can't sell those seats the same way, right? Mm-hmm. But the amount, like, your mileage may vary. The amount that it will annoy you, in my opinion, is pretty minor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more likely that if you buy one of those seats, you'll say, oh, this was a great deal. I paid less money, but I still got most of the experience,
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, oh, I couldn't see anything. This sucked. It's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
So if you can get your hands on one of those things, I wouldn't be too afraid of the whole limited view thing because I've sat in those types of seats before.
Mm-hmm. And SoFi Stadium has this giant video screen that wraps all the way around. And
correct.
Hanging in the center. So you'll be able to see what's going on no matter what.
And I don't know about you, but a lot of the times when I'm at concerts, I'm looking at the TV anyway.
Right, because it's closer. And
right,
it's like
unless you're really close, then you're going to be looking at the TV,
Yeah.
Honestly, you will be.
And so we had gotten 2 sets of tickets. So for Saturday and the Sunday, the strategy behind that was we'll go Saturday and we'll get familiar with how SoFi Stadium works and getting to there and all the logistics that are involved with this, because it's kind of complicated to go to a concert if you think about it. And if you just want to have the best possible experience, because you had to figure out what clothing to wear, what time do you have to leave to get there, how long does it take, like, are you going to drive a car or use a ride share or, take a bus? I mean, there's different ways to get there. And, most people probably haven't been to SoFi Stadium yet since it's new. So there's a lot of like details to figure out. And, so I encourage anyone who got tickets, try to do a lot of this research ahead of time so that and look at what the view is from your seats, and then try to like also figure out like where are the restrooms from there in relation. Like, that's going to be a good thing to know. And then do you need to go, like, let's say you need to buy an Army bomb ahead of time, like, where's that going to be at? Although I don't know if they say where that is, but plan that into your schedule. It's like, I need to stop by at a concession or something beforehand. And I don't know if SoFi Stadium, like, we have to figure this out, but do they have more than one entrance to go in? And I hope there's multiple entrances, because you don't want that to take forever. Like Rose Bowl, it seemed like they had one entrance and then everybody was just in one massive line to...
No, SoFi is more logical. It's one of the modern good stadiums.
And by the time these concerts take place, they are implementing the health check, so that's going to add more time to trying to get in. So you got to like factor that in. I don't know how long it takes to check each person's vaccine card or, their proof that they had a recent test. So, I mean, they got to check every single person. So that's going to take time. And I hope that they have like just a really quick process for that. And they're not like, oh, let me scrutinize every little thing. It's like, okay, just show them and then get in, Like we don't want this to take forever. Like Rose Bowl without a health check already took like over 2 hours to try to get inside the stadium. And it's like we sat down like right before the concert was going to start because it took so long. So I hope that they're more efficient at SoFi Stadium. And, maybe we can be optimistic and hope that the COVID rates drop even more. Maybe they won't even have that requirement by then.
What? No, that's not going to happen.
We can hope. I mean, there should be a lot of herd immunity by now. I mean, I feel like...
No, there's going to be a check. And it might even be more severe. So just be prepared. Go early.
Yeah, be there very early. And it was also a good idea if anybody booked their hotel rooms before buying tickets, because you looked again, you said that the prices went up now, right?
The prices on StubHub?
For hotel rooms.
Oh, yeah. So as soon as I heard that there's going to be a concert, I booked a hotel room. And it's gone up. At first, it was super low. I'm pretty sure it's super low. I don't book LA hotels that often, but it seemed pretty low for LA, like in the low hundreds. Right, and these are, they're airport hotels because the airport is close to SoFi, and it's I think it's a bad date. It's right after Thanksgiving. I don't think there's a lot of demand, so it was cheap. Mm-hmm. But then, as soon as demand shoots up, they're gonna raise their prices, and so if you're booking it now, you're gonna spend more. So just let that be a lesson. Next time, book your hotel immediately as soon as you find out that there's going to be an event there. Because once the hotels start getting wind that there's more demand, they're gonna raise their prices.
They're like, oh, okay, a lot of people want these, so let's raise prices.
That's the free market.
And a lot of times you can book a hotel and it'll be free to cancel. There's some hotels they offer like some super low deal, but then it's like non-refundable. So don't do it on those sites. So as far as the ticket buying process, a lot of fans were very dissatisfied with how it went, and they're really angry at Ticketmaster. And we had mentioned that, there was some of the typical issues like getting kicked out of the queue or disconnecting or getting that weird error, which I don't even know what caused that, but it wouldn't let you buy tickets. There's a lot of angry tweets and posts on social media about people that tried to buy tickets and they couldn't. And there was a lot of grievances with Ticketmaster. So one thing was there was conflicting information from Ticketmaster. Like a lot of people didn't understand like what the 4-ticket limit meant. Mm-hmm. Like Ticketmaster had different information out there that kind of implied different things. So, some people thought it was like 4 per pre-sale, and other people thought it was 4 per account. And, it's hard to...
Well, that's fine, but they erred on the side of preventing people from scalping.
Yeah, I mean...
So that's good. That's good. I mean, you don't need more than 4 tickets. Why do you need more than 4 tickets?
Oh, well, maybe if you have a big friend group or something. Or...
Why did your friends not have a code? Didn't they buy tickets last time?
You want contiguous tickets.
Okay.
You can't always get that,
though.
You
can't always get that. I mean, do your friends not have a code? Presumably, they have tickets they bought tickets from Map of the Soul, right? Mm-hmm. So, people who are angry at scalpers, you do realize those scalpers, they had a code. They were playing by the rules. You understand that, right? They could only buy 4.
Right. Like we might not like it, but they had a way.
They were entitled to 4 because they bought tickets before, right?
Yeah.
That's what happened. And even before, there were limits on what they could buy.
The pre-sale rules put new fans at a disadvantage because you couldn't get into the first 2 days of pre-sales. Mm-hmm. But, that's just how it is. Our concerts got canceled. So I think it was nice that they gave us that, those first 2 days of pre-sales. But yeah, probably if you're a new fan, you probably had a more tough time than anyone who bought tickets for the previous concert. You're screwed.
I don't think you could even get tickets, honestly. You're just buying them on StubHub at this point.
Yeah,
for a huge markup.
You might have to do that.
And yeah, I saw the markups; they're all gigantic. I'm super surprised. I think it really says a lot about where BTS is at. If you don't buy concert tickets a lot, you may not understand just how big these markups are. They're gigantic. Usually markups are like 100% at most.
Right. Like people who just charge double.
Especially, yeah, 100% is a big markup. Resellers will make a lot of money with 100% markup. I'm seeing like 600, 700% markup on the cheapest tickets.
Mm-hmm.
That's unheard of. I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
And I've bought many tickets, and I've gone to StubHub, and I've browsed ticket prices for many different things. And I have never, ever seen that. Not for like the Super Bowl or, sports playoffs or things like that. Or, Justin Bieber. Like, there's a Justin Bieber concert right now. Just go look at the prices.
Mm-hmm.
The markups are not 100%, like 700%. The markups are like 100%.
Well, there's a stadium near us, or an arena, and then sometimes you'll look on there for tickets if it's, concert is that night. It's like, are there any like last minute tickets that are there? And sometimes there's some really good deals when you do that because, people didn't sell out yet. Do you think that people might have a chance if they check like the day of or anything like that for SoFi Stadium? Or do you think that's like wishful thinking?
What?
If they do that strategy of checking last minute.
Checking the last minute? Check what the last minute?
StubHub or Ticketmaster. I think you could put it back on Ticketmaster.
Oh, yeah, like the buying the stuff at the last minute. That's not going to work for this concert. No, that's not going to work for this concert.
Too much demand, huh?
There's too much demand. There's just way too much demand. It's not going to work. I mean, if you're saying that it'll be cheaper at the last second, maybe. You might find like one desperate seller at the very last minute, right? But then here's the problem. You have to be an LA resident to even try this stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're not from LA, you have to plan everything beforehand.
You gotta be there by 7:30.
Yeah. So if you're an LA resident, and also if you are just sort of like, I could see it or I could not see it, then sure. But what BTS fan is just sort of like has a take it or leave it attitude?
Yeah. No one is like wavering on that.
I've only done this. I've only done this for concerts where, like Jennifer Lopez.
Like you're not a super fan of them.
Yeah,
but
we did this for Jennifer Lopez. It was just like, well, if she's here, it's something to do on Friday.
It's convenient.
Yeah, it's something to do on Friday. And if the price is attractive, then we'll buy it and we'll go. But if it's not, then no big deal.
Right.
Right?
No loss.
That was our attitude towards it. And I don't think anybody really has that attitude towards this BTS concert. You either really, really want to see it or you're not. Keep in mind that even the day of, the price isn't going to drop to something dirt cheap. It's still going to be expensive. So if you're willing to pay even that price, it means you're a big fan, right? But if you're a big fan, you probably don't want to risk this. You just pay the premium, or just wait for the next concert, which there's going to be a next concert.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. The same ambivalence or, I was unsure. The same uncertainty as far as how well it would sell. I'm sure that Hybe had that same uncertainty. They don't know what the demand is going to be like. It's been pandemic, right? And this is one city, 4 stadium shows in one city. That's unheard of. There's no act that can sell 4 like back-to-back stadium shows. It sucks up all the demand in that city by maybe the first stadium show. Mm-hmm. So you're essentially saying, I'm going to fill 3 stadiums purely on people who are willing to travel to this location. I think SoFi has a capacity of 80,000. They don't sell all the seats, so maybe 60,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're essentially saying that they believe there's 180,000 people who are willing to fly and see BTS.
Yeah.
That's a very big assumption. It's a very big assumption.
Yeah.
But apparently there is that amount of demand and more. So you're going to see more concerts from BTS. They're going to, they obviously like making money. Who doesn't like making money? Hybe now knows that the demand way outstrips what they were offering with these 4 concerts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to try to meet that demand. Even if they just do another few dates in LA, they probably figure that, oh, you guys will be willing to fly in again. And they only have to deal with that. Or if they want to go to like a more COVID-friendly state like Texas, maybe they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you will see more. They will make it happen. Just trust me. One of the sureties in this world is when a massive amount of demand exists and people can make money by meeting that demand, they will move mountains to meet that demand. Why wouldn't they? They can make millions and millions of dollars. Of course they're going to do that.
Yeah.
So you're going to see more concerts. That's the bottom line.
Now they have the pre-sales are over, the sales are over, they have the data, how fast that happened. I'm sure they have all these other stadiums in talks. They probably just haven't finalized, like, okay, which dates and, which order are we going to go in. So I'm sure they're going to add more dates, and maybe they're hoping to I don't know if they'll do anything like right after LA, because you got to plan things ahead. They'll probably just go back to Korea after that. But, early 2022, they might be looking at other American cities.
For sure they are. Nobody leaves demand like that on the table, just hanging there and not exploiting it, not maximizing it, not converting it into profit. Nobody does that. And if you did, you'd be negligent. If you were a shareholder in Hybe, you should sue the company. That's how seriously negligent that would be. Okay? There's so much profit on the table based on what I've seen here. So if the prices are way too high for you, and they're stupid high, I wouldn't pay $500 for a nosebleed seat. Just wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Just wait for the next one. That's ridiculous. $500 for a nosebleed seat. $500 is what you should pay for floor seats.
Yeah.
Don't settle for a nosebleed seat when you could just wait for the inevitable concerts that come and get a floor seat.
Yeah, I would tell people, don't be worried about that. There's going to be more concerts.
There will be. You just have to wait a little while. They're going to make it happen.
There's also the online concert that's going to happen on October, I think it was 24th. So if you're not able to get to a concert, that's probably going to be a similar set list. So I'm glad they're providing that too, because I'm sure there's so many people, like, especially from other countries, they wouldn't even be able to go to the LA show. So they have that to look forward to, and then just wait for the additional dates, which I'm sure are coming. So some of the other issues that people had with Ticketmaster, I don't think this affected anything, but like the waiting room time, they said be there an hour before, and then you could just be in the waiting room, and then it'll put you in the queue. And then the first day it was an hour before, and then the second day it was like it didn't open till 30 minutes before. So I don't know what the purpose of that was, but people didn't like the mixed information. And yeah, people didn't like that there was no sound check for the second day pre-sale. It's like there's like no reason for that given. So people didn't like that they didn't even have a chance to try to get sound check on that day. And a lot of people were talking about, I guess it's very easy to get the wheelchair accessible seats. If you were buying tickets, like it's not that obvious like what is and what isn't. And so a bunch of people bought it that didn't need it. And so then the people that need the wheelchair access, they didn't have access to those seats. But, I think that's kind of a tough problem to solve, because how would you know who needs those seats? And then, if you're someone who's buying tickets, like maybe you don't even care. It's like, well, I just need to get any seats, and this is what came up. So I don't know the best way to do that, but in a normal concert where there's not so much demand, it seems like those seats are like set aside, and like people don't buy them if they can just sit in a regular seat. So I think it's just the fact that these concerts have so much demand that people like either didn't notice in their frenzy, or they just didn't care, and they were like, I just want to buy two seats, But yeah, I saw on Twitter,
I don't blame you either.
People were trying to like trade seats or try to like buy those seats if possible. So I think that was another issue that came up. I was also seeing screenshots circulating on Twitter from people who have posted to a SoFi Facebook group that's for, SoFi Stadium tickets just to games. Like people were trying to get tickets to other games. And there were people that, I don't know what day they had the pre-sale access to, but the SoFi Stadium season ticket holders have some kind of privilege where they can buy concert tickets, I think, that take place at SoFi. So
is that right? Like if you're a Rams season ticket holder?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So
or Chargers.
Some of those people were able to get in on one of these pre-sales. And,
and so they bought it and flipped it.
Yeah, well, that's what they said. They had posted tickets. They said, this is going to be easy money. I'm going to get some of these
Yeah.
BTS tickets because I
Right.
know all about BTS now since, it's known all over America
Right.
how popular they are. So they purposely bought some tickets to be able to like resell at a, high profit. And these are just, football fans or whatever. So they're not going to use it themselves. They're going to just...
Maybe there's some football fans who like BTS, although I'm sure the overlap is very small.
But yeah, these postings, I saw the screenshots and like a lot of people were really angry about that because, they just, I guess people didn't like that. Just, wow, that's so greedy. Like you're not even a BTS fan and then you're charging such a high price.
Yeah.
And I don't know who even to like, if that was if there's anyone to be mad at or not, because it just seems like, okay, well, I guess if this takes place at SoFi Stadium, they have the right to give that benefit to their people to buy these season tickets. But, kind of unfortunate that they took advantage of that just because there's army that got shut out of tickets. So, of course, they're going to be angry about that.
I understand that you would, you'd see that and you might, be angry at it. But keep in mind that there's probably a limit on them too, like maybe 4 tickets, right? Mm-hmm. And in fairness to them, it's very expensive to be a season ticket holder for these teams. Although I'm on your side in the sense that all of these people they're clearly fans of LA teams, right? And I hate all LA sports fans because I grew up in San Francisco. So I hate all these people. I hate them personally, but on principle, they're not scalpers in the traditional sense. They're not breaking rules or anything like that.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why the stadium even exists is because of like the PSAs that these season ticket holders paid for.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money to have the right to be a season ticket. Here's how it works, by the way. If you're from a foreign country, it's a very interesting and stupid system. So stadiums are very expensive. And when a city and team want to build a stadium, one of the things they do is they sell PSAs. This is essentially...
the personal seat license.
PSL, sorry. This is essentially just a amount of money you pay to have the right to buy a season ticket. It's not even the season ticket itself. You pay to have the right to buy a season ticket.
Oh, okay.
But they do it before the stadium is even built, right? So it creates a nice infusion of capital for them to build that stadium.
And then that person is like at least guaranteed something.
Guaranteed the right to buy a season ticket.
Okay.
Right. And apparently at SoFi, these PSL purchasers also were given the right to buy concert tickets there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. But this is a lot of money. I don't know how much it was at SoFi, but I have to figure it was at least $15,000. I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. The stadium cost $4 billion. So their PSLs were probably very, very expensive. So they did sort of pay for this, Yeah. Let's be reasonable.
I guess you can't really blame them for trying to get, some of their money back.
Yeah. Although on the flip side, again, these people are probably just rich LA residents, so you don't have to feel sorry for them.
Right.
These people, they live in the nicest houses that you'd see on YouTube. I watch these videos all the time, like nice LA houses. So screw them. But at the same time, yeah, they did pay for this privilege.
Yeah, they've given a lot of money and they're part of why this stadium was even built.
They're part of why this nice stadium is even in existence for this concert to happen.
But yeah, that caused I saw a lot of that being shared, like the couple of people that were like, yeah, we're gonna sell this for a lot of money. Like they were just being like blatant about it, these couple of people.
Well, there's no reason not to be blatant. I mean, it is what it is. They're buying it to resell it. But what does suck is I saw the screenshots. They all got floor seats. So I'm thinking that they had maybe these people had even better priority than the VIP.
Maybe. Yeah, somebody had like first row floor.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
I'm thinking that the SoFi season ticket holders, they really had the first crack at everything.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That might be, yeah.
So if you buy on StubHub like a floor seat for thousands of dollars, just know that you're lining the pockets of somebody who's already probably enormously rich.
Some LA millionaire.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes you feel good or bad. Probably bad, but that's what's happening. Somebody rich enough to pay for the PSL and have season tickets to the Rams or Chargers.
So
no one's a Chargers fan, though.
2 teams use the same stadium?
Yeah, the Chargers do.
Oh, wow.
They moved from San Diego. I know you're not a football fan, but they moved from San Diego, and they're kind of the second team in LA.
So with all these issues, some people were saying, like, is there any way for Ticketmaster to not be the ones who sell the tickets? Like, what if Hybe was to handle it themselves? Like, you do it on Weverse.
Impossible. No, they cannot. They cannot.
Do you think it's too big of an operation?
No. It has nothing to do with whether or not they are competent enough to handle it. It has to do with the business arrangements of the venues with Ticketmaster.
Right. And that is why Ticketmaster is like the only one that sells tickets, basically.
It has more to do with the venue.
They have all those
than
deals.
BTS, right? It's Ticketmaster doesn't get to sell for an event because they have a deal with BTS, they have a deal with Ariana Grande, they have a deal with Taylor Swift. No, it's because they have a monopoly on deals with the venues. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Who's a more important entity to have a deal with, the venue or the artist?
Like if you have a contract with SoFi Stadium.
The venue, because the venue has the leverage, right?
Yeah.
The venue is the one that lets you play that venue. You're BTS. You want to play LA. What are your options? The Rose Bowl, SoFi?
Yeah.
What about other cities? What if you want to play Dallas? What are your options? Dallas Stadium, Cowboy Stadium? Mm-hmm. Who has all the leverage in this situation? The stadium. They know you want to play Dallas. You're not just going to say, I'm going to skip Texas then. No, that's not going to happen. So you're going to play this venue. And so they have the leverage and they have the deal with Ticketmaster. Mm-hmm. You have to use Ticketmaster.
Well, that's why some people were like, why does Ticketmaster have... It's a monopoly, pretty much. And there was even like some talk in Congress. Like, I'm sure nothing will happen of that because nothing ever happens. But, they're like, well, Ticketmaster is the only one, basically, that can sell tickets. They're just too large.
That's a fair question. It does sort of look like a monopoly, although there are some other venues that do business through other ticketing services.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, maybe if it's tested, maybe someone can test it, but there are other ticketing services. I know that. Like, you've been to...
Yeah, like some smaller places, like you just buy directly.
Yeah, they have some weird ticketing service, right?
Directly from them or something.
So they do exist, but at the same time, it may be something that can be challenged because even though they exist, Ticketmaster seems to have the big ones, all of the big ones.
Yeah.
The venues are encouraged to keep working with Ticketmaster. It's a hassle to ask customers, now you got to go to this other site.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm used to buying it from Ticketmaster.
Yeah, we're already doing it at Ticketmaster, and also a lot of the leagues like NFL, MLB, whatever, they also have deals with Ticketmaster, right?
Right. I'm sure it's like an exclusive.
So it's really hard to just step outside of this ecosystem. The ecosystem exists, and Ticketmaster, I think the deals are favorable enough to the stadiums and also to the artists and the organizations. They don't feel ripped off, so they have no reason to stop working with Ticketmaster. You're gonna have to continue. You're gonna see Ticketmaster in the future.
Yeah, they're not gonna go away anytime soon.
So.
And there was a lot of people. I don't know if they're just still angry at the moment because of the ticket experience, but they're talking about, let's compile all this information of, what happened, and let's all sue Ticketmaster. Let's have a class action lawsuit or something like that. Like, do you think that would go anywhere?
Sue them for what?
For all the different things that happened during this pre-sale. Like, some people felt like they didn't have a fair chance of getting tickets because of, various pre-sales, and like scalpers got some tickets, and getting kicked out of a queue. Like, I didn't have a shot at it.
Well, here's the issue. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but from my rough understanding, which is not like too bad of these legal issues, what are the damages they're going to sue for? What are the damages? You just weren't able to buy tickets. Mm-hmm. Did you lose money? Were you not able to work?
That's true. It didn't cost them anything.
Yeah, what are your damages?
They just didn't have the opportunity.
You just weren't able to spend money.
Yeah.
It's really hard to argue, right? And maybe the closest you could get is some like discrimination suit, but like discrimination based on what? Like what protected class were you just like? The BTS fan, by the way, is not a protected class in the U.S. legal system.
Yeah.
So you can't sue on that. You can't say that I was discriminated against, right? That's sort of what you're saying, that you were discriminated against, but since you're not a protected class, you can't be discriminated against. Legally, you cannot be.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the damages? Did you lose money? You kept more money as far as anyone else can see.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be hard to put together a clear case.
It's really difficult. The only thing you could, like we were talking before, the better angle would be to be some kind of antitrust suit.
Yeah.
Right? So you could call Ticketmaster monopoly of some sort. But that's not a consumer suit. That's not a class action. That has nothing to do with damages against consumers. That's a antitrust suit. And you can't even bring it. You, as like John Doe, cannot say, "Hey, I'm going to sue you for antitrust." That's not how it works. The government has to sue Ticketmaster for antitrust.
Right.
Okay? So you have to lobby your congressman and tell him that you guys need to sue them for antitrust, and I don't know, they'll do it or not. There aren't very many good options. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, probably the best you can do is just be vocal. Like Army can put a lot of public pressure maybe on Ticketmaster to resolve a lot of these complaints.
I would say there's been a lot of progress already over the years. This verified fan thing, it's pretty recent. It used to be a free-for-all on Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster just used to let scalpers, whatever, buy tons of tickets.
That's true.
And you know what? Why not? They don't care. As soon as they sell the tickets, they've made all their money. What do they care that it went to a scalper? In fact, dirty secret, or it's not even dirty secret. If you just think about people's motives, you can figure this out for yourself. What is the more ideal situation for Ticketmaster? A world where they have no limits on who can buy what amounts? Or a world where they have all this verified fan? Did you break the rules? Let's freeze this, or let's just make sure everybody only got their allotted maximum. Which world is better for Ticketmaster? Well, let me ask this. Which world is more profitable for Ticketmaster?
If there's no limits.
No limits, exactly. Why would you ever want to prevent people? It would be like you run McDonald's and everybody can come and it's like, okay, you can only order one thing. Why? Them's just the rules. You order one meal. Like, what if I wanted to order 6? Too bad.
Right.
What if I wanted to order 2 fries? No, 1. The world where McDonald's places no limits on people is they make more money.
Mm-hmm.
The world where Ticketmaster places no limits on people is better because right now, Ticketmaster assumes a lot more risk. Before, they assumed less risk because as soon as they put a concert out for sale, a bunch of scalpers would buy up all the tickets. Well, the money is made for Ticketmaster. The money is made for the artist. Those two entities made their money instantly, and they're happy.
Yeah.
Who's not happy? The end consumer, who may have to purchase through a scalper at a higher rate. But the artist and Ticketmaster and the venue, they already made their money. They're happy. They wouldn't make more money if the customer was protected in any way, right? The scalper now assumes all the risk for depressed demand. Like, what if there is no demand? Well, the scalper is left wondering, how do I get rid of these tickets? That's a great situation for the venue, for Ticketmaster, and for the artist. They like that system financially. But enough customers complained about the whole scalping situation and said, you guys got to do something about this because we're paying extra price to these rent seekers, scalpers.
Right. And the limit used to be more than 4. It wasn't like 8 before.
And it was easy to create accounts and just get to different stuff,
Right.
It was so easy.
You have more than one account.
Yeah, just like you have a bunch of accounts and you buy on all of them. So what? Now you can't really do that. You have to be sort of verified. It's harder. And they didn't have to do any of that. They didn't have to make it harder on scalpers. And they had no financial incentive to make it harder on scalpers. But people complaining actually moved the needle. And now they have all these improvements. This is all to say that the system is a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be the wild, wild west.
I mean, so it has improved. So if people want other really specific changes, then I'm sure it helps to be vocal and express that to
Yes, express it to
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster because even though sometimes it feels like when you yell and you shake your fist at companies, they just ignore you.
Yeah, they're just a faceless company that doesn't care.
They just don't care. They ignore you. And, usually that's probably true. But in the case of Ticketmaster, there have been good changes over the years that have reduced the ability of scalpers to purchase tickets and have lowered the overall price, the end user price. keep voicing your concerns to Ticketmaster because they've actually resulted in change.
So if you're going to the concert, you may want to have an army bomb ahead of time, or you might want to buy one there. But recently I found out that there is a microchip shortage that's going to affect the pricing and maybe even the availability of army bombs. Apparently the light sticks, like all light sticks, not just army bombs, but they use microchips in them, like a really, really specific kind. And Hybe was saying that there's a shortage of these right now. I don't know if it's related to like the whole supply chain shortage, and it's just hard to, get these shipped from place to place, or that the materials are in a shortage. But
no, I don't think it's a supply chain. I think it's microchips that are in shortage.
Mm-hmm.
They've been so for a while.
Yeah, because like we need them for everything now. That's
Right.
probably why. And it says the price of army bombs have gone up. It's now $59 and went up $2. I don't remember it being 57. I thought it was like 50 or 55 when I got one.
$2. Is that really even going up? From when? 2 years ago when they last sold?
Yeah, it must be.
Inflation has gone up more than that. I would say army bongs got cheaper.
Well,
that's my opinion.
other things-
Army bongs got cheaper. Let's break down the math, okay? So they were $57 before, right?
Uh-huh.
So $2 increase, it's just shy of a 4% increase, correct?
Yeah.
So the price increased like 3 point whatever percent, correct? Inflation is like 4 or 5% now. Because this is such a tangent because our goddamn government keeps printing money, but whatever. Inflation is like 4 or 5%, and that's just what they admit to. I really think it's higher. I think inflation is more like 7%. So let's say inflation is 7%, like I think it is. So if a thing was $57, you know how much it should increase by? $13.
Oh, so that's what it could be.
In my mind, yeah.
Maybe
It should be $13 more dollars. They're cutting you a break if it's only increasing by $2.
maybe Hybe is keeping the price.
You know how much more
down
houses
right
are?
now.
Do you know how much more beef is? Do you know how much more chicken is? Everything is more than 5% more expensive now than it was 2 years ago.
That's true. Most people can see the gasoline prices as a mark. How much does that go?
2 years ago it was $57, and now it's $59. That's not even outpacing inflation. Should be $68. Just so you know, it should be $68 according to inflation figures. Okay, and a chip shortage. If it's actually affected by a chip shortage as well, that would also impact it. Maybe it should be $70.
It says the wait times for semiconductor deliveries are up to 6 months compared to what it used to be at 2 months. So the company that makes light sticks, the founder said, I bulk ordered microchips in advance because remember, like last year that there were no events. So he was like, I don't know what the demand will be. I hope, concerts will come back. So let me order a bunch of microchips right now. But still, it's like there's so much more costs. As the shipping costs are 3 times what they are, and then the chips themselves cost 30% more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. See that 30% more for the chips themselves.
yeah.
I
guess $2.
Inflation is a thing. Inflation is a thing.
$2 doesn't sound that bad then.
Inflation is a thing. All of your money, I hope it's not been sitting under your mattress or just in cash somewhere, because it's worth less today. And it's going to be worth less tomorrow. It probably needs to grow at least 8% a year. This is kind of off topic, but yeah, your money needs to grow at 8% a year. All your stuff is going to cost more next year.
Right. That's why it has to grow by a certain percent, because
Correct.
the value goes down.
So when people say something like, "Wow, the price went up," yeah, but did it go up more than inflation? And also when people say, "I made money," like, but did you really make money? Mm-hmm. Did you really make money? Did you factor in inflation? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're really in need of an army bomb, you might want to like look into that. Get it before the concert, because you have no idea what the supply will be at the concert. I don't know if I would trust that.
Yeah, and I hate waiting in line, although the line was always pretty efficient.
But then they charge you a lot for
They
batteries.
charge you extra.
The batteries cost like $10 or something. Twice is reportedly holding an offline concert this December. According to reports, Twice are set to hold an offline concert at Seoul's KSPO Dome at the end of the year on December 24th through 26th. They also released okay, that's not relevant, but they recently released The Feels. And I was just surprised because this is the first sign we've heard of that concerts are coming back to Korea, and I'm just surprised it was Twice that it was the first one to get something booked. You'd think it would be BTS, but I don't know, maybe JYP has some kind of advantage there, or maybe these dates were dates that BTS is busy doing something else, and so they were like, well, we can use those dates and we want to do something at this dome, So I wonder if other companies were trying to quickly get their concerts going as fast as possible, or if, just Twice was able to get it done. Like, I don't know. But
offline concert?
Yeah, like an actual concert.
In Korea?
Yeah.
Have they not had any?
No. I mean, they had, BTS had their couple of concerts, but it was like no people could be there.
Oh.
Like when they did the
right.
the Muster, the Sowuzu, and Map of the Soul one. And yeah, so far there hasn't been a stadium concert for a K-pop group that had people able to go. And it sounds like Twice was able to get this deal done, so they can be the first ones. Although I don't know if they were trying to be the first or they just happened to be. Did other groups want to try to do it too or not? The Pandora Papers are leaked documents with data investigated by the ICIJ, which is a group of journalists, published in October 2021. The leak exposed secret offshore accounts of 35 world leaders, including current and former presidents, prime ministers, and heads of state, as well as more than 100 billionaires, celebrities, and business leaders. SM Entertainment founder Soo Man was named in the Pandora Papers. So that's how that's relevant to K-pop.
Yeah.
They said that
he's been tax sheltering stuff.
Yeah, he is accused of purchasing properties in the U.S. through a Hong Kong offshore company so that he could bypass the limit on overseas real estate purchases. So I guess they found all this evidence of that. And so he was named on this report, and sounds like something he would do. It's like, I want to buy extra real estate, but I don't want to, get to the limit.
Right.
And it was a Korean media outlet that worked on this part of the investigation that found his evidence. And then he commented back, he said, denied any wrongdoing. He said that his dad had set up these accounts and that they did it all legally, and he can provide, all the documents that show that.
Well, here's the thing about, I'm familiar with the Pandora Papers and this sort of stuff. Here's the thing about a lot of this stuff. It is legal. That's what you have to understand. It is legal. There are all these loopholes and shelters, and I won't go into it, but there's so many ways to avoid taxes, and especially the richer you are, right? If you just have a job and the government knows exactly how much you make every year, you're gonna pay the full amount every year if you're just a wage earner. But if you're a person that has assets, not necessarily. There are options for you. And it's not even illegal. It's just, I guess people think it's unseemly because they feel like, oh, well, you're not paying your fair share or something like that.
Or you're not being transparent.
Yeah, right. And I'm for these things so then people can see what's going on. Some people, they don't pay the taxes that you maybe think they should pay. But I would caution people against thinking that, oh, this just means that we just need stricter laws and we just need to tax rich people even more. That's not how it is. That's just not how it is in the real world. I know it's tempting to think that because let's say I'm a regular person. I make $50,000 a year. I'm going to have to pay my tax rate. I can't hide. I can't avoid it. There are no tricks, right? But if you're Jeff Bezos or you're Soo Man, you have assets, you have tricks, you have shell companies, you have all these options available, and you don't have to necessarily pay the exact thing. It's not illegal per se, but it's just there's flexibility.
So you're saying the people that do this, they have these offshore accounts that are kind of like not super obvious or transparent. Like the reason they're doing that is to save money so they don't have to pay as many taxes.
Yeah, that's always the goal.
Okay, because I was thinking they do this because they're doing illegal things with this money that's hidden
No.
offshore.
They're not doing illegal things. They're not doing it. They want to pay less money to the government. They're not like running drugs or guns.
Well,
or
this is
something.
like, okay, you're like Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I'm sure he has
No.
all sorts
It's
of
not
like
that.
secret money in different
It's
places.
not like some sex pedophile island that they're funding. No, it just they want to pay less taxes. Okay. And I know it's tempting to say that's not fair. We should write harsher laws. We should raise our tax rate on the richest people. And like here's the thing though that you need to understand. It's just not how it works in the real world. And it's never going to be how it works. Okay. Here's an analogy I always like to use, and this is going to be upsetting because it's not going to sound good, but this is reality. I always ask people who feel like we should just raise the taxes on the rich. Like if we raise taxes on the rich, you know what will happen? We'll have more money to do this and do that. Well, I always ask them, why doesn't McDonald's just double all of its prices? And they'll say, what are you talking about? Like, doesn't McDonald's want to make twice as much money? And they'll say, yes. Like, so why don't they just double all their prices?
Well,
Won't they make twice as much money?
people will buy less Big Macs.
Yeah, that's the obvious answer. They'll say, well, they won't make twice as much money. And I ask them, why? Why won't they make twice as much money? They just doubled their prices. And they'll say, well, because people won't go to McDonald's then. They'll go to Burger King, or they just won't go to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say,
eat at home.
yeah, exactly. Now you understand what it is like to tax rich people. It is not a situation where they are beholden and under the gun and they just have to pay whatever it is you say they need to pay. Taxing rich people is like you open up a McDonald's and you're selling them on the tax rate.
They can always find another way. They can like
find another way. They can
change
find
their residence.
Yeah, they can find another country. You are selling them on the tax rates of your country. And if you don't like it, then that sounds like it's bad or it's, well, I don't know what to tell you because that's the reality of it. There's 100 and whatever, like 30 countries on earth, and this is just the reality of it.
How come I looked at the list of all the people that were on there, and it was like a lot of it was just like world leaders or whatever, and he was one of the business people that was on the list. But how come you think that Korea, like there weren't other people like him? Like there was no, like JYP wasn't on the list, Bang PD wasn't on the list, like the president was not on the list.
Keep in mind that this Pandora Papers it's not comprehensive. They didn't dig up everything on everyone.
I mean, there must be other people also that have...
It's not like this is a comprehensive list of everything that's going on.
Right.
And the more valuable aspect of the Pandora Papers is not like a Soo Man. He's just avoiding taxes. The more valuable expose, if you could say, are these world leaders. These world leaders who might be embezzling money from their country and things like that. That's the more valuable.
That's a lot worse than a businessman.
Right. That's actual like criminal stuff. Whereas just rich people using legal loopholes to avoid taxes, it happens. I think we're all aware it happens.
The world leaders, it's like, what is that money for and what is it from? Like, did you get that as a bribe or something in order to
perhaps
quid pro quo?
Or graft.
Yeah.
Corruption, graft. It happens.
Because you're not...
And that's why these things are worthwhile to expose, because hey, you're just the president of this country. Why you have $100 million now? Yeah,
like it's not like you're some business person and it's like, this is where I want my profits to be. It's like you're running a country. Right. Like what, you shouldn't have all this income. So
it's really for those people. It's really to expose them. And you could say, well, it's to expose the rich businessmen who have tax shelters. Like, oh, in a way, maybe, but it doesn't really expose it. Everybody knew that was happening.
Yeah, I wanted to think there was some crazy story behind Soo Man, but probably he just wanted to save some money.
there's nothing crazy about it. He just wanted to pay less taxes. If you hate SM or something, don't crow over this. Don't be like, oh, see, your company sucks and your CEO is evil. The CEO of your favorite company probably also has these things. It just wasn't revealed in these papers. Okay, let's be realistic. JYP, does he not have exercise, take advantage of certain loopholes to pay less taxes? Oh, come on. I'm sure he does.
Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can listen to BTS Happy Hour on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms, or visit btshappyhour.com. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. New episodes weekly. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Weverse. If you've listened all the way to the end of the episode, comment with a money with wings emoji on our latest Instagram post, which is to signify the ticket buying process this week. Until next time, this has been BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.